Welcome to the North Georgia RESA GaTAPP informational session. My name is Amber Sokachu and I serve as the Professional Learning Director and GaTAPP Coordinator at North Georgia RESA. I want to thank you for taking the time to learn about GaTAPP, what's expected of each candidate in the program, and what each of our responsibilities are as a candidate support team. I will share the responsibilities for each role of the candidate support team in the GaTAPP program and where you can find resources you will utilize throughout the duration of the program. In this presentation, I will share the GAPSC GaTAPP rules, the GaTAPP stages of matriculation, and the roles and responsibilities of each of the candidate support team members. The Georgia Teacher Academy for Preparation and Pedagogy, referred to as GaTAPP, is a GAPSC-approved alternate pathway for individuals who hold a bachelor's degree or higher from an accredited institution who did not complete a traditional teacher education degree program and who want to transition into the teaching profession. In an effort to be responsive to the needs of its members, North Georgia RESA works collaboratively with schools and systems to mitigate teacher shortages through its commitment to a rigorous yet highly supportive alternative preparation program. The goal of GaTAPP Pathway is to equip teacher candidates with the necessary skills for essential success in their classrooms through concentrated training opportunities. Such training, coupled with quality on-the-job learning supported by supervisors, mentors, and administrators, establishes an induction program that will nurture the growth of teacher candidates. The program is designed and reviewed based on the GAPSC Rules 505-3-.01 and 505-3-.05. GaTAPP is designed for individuals who wish to transition into teaching from another career path, did not complete a teacher education program, and have never held a clear and renewable professional teaching certificate. What is alternative preparation? The North Georgia RESA Alternative Preparation Program is a classroom-based teacher preparation option for individuals who have the basic qualifications to teach. An alternative option for individuals who hold a bachelor's degree or higher, but who did not complete a teacher education requirements as part of their degree programs and have never been certified in any state, and an intense internship induction program that seeks to equip teacher candidates with the skills to ensure a reasonable expectation of initial success in their classrooms, and puts in place a supervised internship induction program that will help teacher candidates move toward subsequent mastery of teaching. There are 5 major steps our candidates need to complete the GaTAPP program and gain initial teaching certification. Stage 1 is entry into the program. For this stage, candidates need to complete the North Georgia RESA application, submit college transcripts, complete their program admission required GACE, their content GACE, and the ethics GACE. They also need to be hired by an accredited school as part of the application process. Stage 2 is the initial training. This consists of 2 full weeks of essentials training here at North Georgia RESA with our GaTAPP instructors. They focus on instructional strategies, classroom management, lesson planning, and more. Stage 3 includes the first 2 years of teaching. During this time, candidates will attend Saturday seminars, their required coursework, their individual induction plans, additional coursework, supervised mentoring and coaching, the completion of their GaTAPP portfolio, and proficiency in the 24 competencies and 12 dispositions. Stage 4 is an additional year to complete requirements if needed, and Stage 5 is the recommendation for CST for certification change. This happens as the final step before the file is submitted for completion in the GAPSC through a non-traditional reporting system. Each GaTAPP candidate is provided with a support team. We call this the Candidate Support Team, or the CST. This team includes the candidate, the school-based mentor, the school-based administrator, and a North Georgia RESA supervisor. The CST evaluates the progress of the candidate and identifies areas that need to be addressed. The CST may recommend additional resources or coursework if additional support is necessary. You can find the responsibilities of the CST with accompanying resources outlined in the GaTAPP Handbook. Each CST will meet 3 times per year: the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, and at the end of the year. At these meetings, candidates will be assessed using the Candidate Dispositions rubric, which is Appendix 2 in your GaTAPP Handbook. This rubric will be used to discuss goals and track the candidate's progress at each CST meeting. All teacher candidates are required to work collaboratively with the CST to develop a teacher candidate induction plan. This is Appendix 10 in your Georgia TAP handbook. This plan should be data-driven and used to improve candidate performance in areas of need. Data sources for the creation of the plan may include, but are not limited to, self-assessment results, observation data, GACE results, dispositions, and assessments. Development of the teacher candidate induction plan should begin during the first CST meeting, with all team members contributing to the initial preparation. The teacher candidate and RESA supervisor should work with the mentor teacher to complete the plan for submission. The initial plan is to be completed no later than September 15th. The role and responsibilities of our Georgia TAP candidates are outlined in the Georgia TAP handbook. Please make sure you read through these and familiarize yourself with the responsibilities and the documentation required. Please closely attend to each of the requirements that will make up the final portfolio. The portfolio must be completed with accuracy before a candidate can complete the program. The role and responsibilities of our Georgia TAP mentors are also outlined in the Georgia TAP handbook. Please make sure you read through these and familiarize yourself with the responsibilities and the documentation required. The mentor is responsible for coaching and collaborating with the candidate on a consistent basis. The mentor is responsible for conducting informal and formal observations of the candidate and also supporting the candidate in assembling the electronic portfolio that demonstrates professional growth and standards-based practices. The mentor will review the portfolio with the candidate and make suggestions for revisions prior to submitting the portfolio. Finally, the mentor will sign off on the final portfolio review prior to submission to the supervisor and final CST meeting. For each formal observation, the candidate will complete the Georgia TAP Handbook Appendices 3A and 3C before each observation. The mentor and the candidate will meet for a pre-observation meeting to discuss Appendices 3A and 3C. The mentor will use Appendix 3E, Charlotte Danielson's framework, domains 2 and 3, to evaluate the candidate's observation. The mentor and the candidate will discuss 3E together at a post-observation conference. The mentor is responsible for conducting 1 formal observation per semester and 2 informal observations per semester. The informal observations do not include a pre-observation. Therefore, the candidate is not responsible for completing Appendices 3A and 3C. However, the mentor will still complete 3E, the observation rubric, for each formal and informal observation. The role and responsibilities of our Georgia TAP administrators are in the Georgia TAP handbook. Please make sure you read through these to familiarize yourself with the responsibilities and the documentation required. Please closely attend to the CST requirements, the signature requirements, and the ongoing portfolio support required of you all. As the administrator, you will assist the mentor in arranging conference and observation times, managing issues, and supporting the efforts of the mentor and the activities of the candidate. In regard to your observations, you will observe the candidate per system requirements. For each candidate's first formal observation, the administrator is expected to join the mentor and the supervisor. This allows the whole team to establish common baseline data in supporting the candidate. After the first formal observation, the candidate may request that your district observation requirements be completed in conjunction with the Georgia TAP required observations. This will be the candidate's choice. The role and responsibilities of our Georgia TAP supervisors can be found in the Georgia TAP handbook. Please familiarize yourself with the responsibilities of the supervisor. This is the person who will support your clinical experience, guide your observations, take your CST meeting minutes, and communicate with you about your progress regarding the portfolio requirements. Your supervisor will conduct a minimum of 6 formal observations throughout the program. 4 of these observations will be in year 1 and 2 will be in year 2. Should a candidate require additional support, there may be more observations scheduled. Each formal observation will include a pre-observation conference meeting to discuss the candidate's lesson plan. The candidate will complete Appendices 3A and 3C before each observation. These appendices should be submitted to the supervisor no less than 48 hours before the pre-observation meeting. This gives the supervisor time to review the plan and develop questions. Each supervisor will schedule the pre-observation meeting with the candidate to discuss Appendices 3A and 3C. During this meeting, the supervisor will complete Appendix 3B. The candidate and the supervisor will agree on an observation day and time. During the observation, the supervisor will complete Appendix 3E, the observation rubric, aligned to Charlotte Danielson's Domain 2, the classroom environment, and Domain 3, instructional practices. After the observation, the supervisor and the candidate will meet for a post-observation meeting to discuss Appendix 3E. The candidate will complete Appendix 3D, a reflection, and then submit it to the supervisor once the observation is complete. All of these documents are required as part of the completed portfolio. Please attend to the required signatures on the observation documents. The supervisor will remind the candidate of these requirements to ensure compliance for the portfolio completion. I will now review the process and elements of the candidate support team meetings. These meetings are held 3 times per year, beginning, middle, and end of the year, and include the entire team, the candidate, mentor, administrator, and RESA supervisor. The candidate is responsible for establishing a date that will work for everyone. These may be virtual or in person to accommodate schedules. The paperwork required for the first 5 CST meetings will include Appendix 11, the CST minutes, Appendix 10, the individual induction plan, and Appendix 2, the candidate dispositions. As the mentor, it is your job to come to each CST with Appendix 2 completed and may have some ideas for Appendix 10, the individual induction plan. The supervisor will complete all final documents during the meeting. The final CST includes all of the appendices listed above, plus Appendix 19, the principal's end-of-the-year report, Appendix 14, competencies for certification, and Appendix 16, the electronic portfolio content requirements. Appendices 19, 14, and 16 will be completed and prepared by the supervisor. Finally, it is important to note that communication is vital for the success of our candidates in our Georgia TAP program. You will want to communicate together to schedule dates to meet, share calendar invites for meetings, and ensure all documents are signed. Ultimately, all of these are the candidate's responsibility, but an awareness of all of us can help our candidates stay on track. As a team, we can set our candidates up for great success. We can support them to ensure they get all their documents signed, saved, and uploaded to their portfolios as they go. They should not wait until the very end to complete their tasks. This is the best practice in all teaching areas, not just for Georgia TAP. There are some ongoing recommendations to ensure the success of our Georgia TAP candidates. Consider scheduling ongoing check-ins. This could be a standing appointment, same time, same day every week. During these check-ins, you might want to discuss and support your candidate in classroom management. How are they doing? What support, resources, and coaching might they need to be successful? We all know that teaching and learning is more successful once the environment has been effectively established. You might discuss lesson planning. This may be a part of your weekly process outside of the check-in to see how the candidate is prepared with resources, handouts, slides, and any other required teaching materials. What is their planning and preparation process? Consider how you might coach them for effective planning and preparation. Support your candidate in reflecting on teaching practices. You might refer to their goal from their CST to support this element. Might they benefit from some co-teaching or modeling to ensure effective implementation of good teaching practices? This is a good time to check in and share ideas. Support your candidate with specific school-related information. We all know there is so much to learn in the way of the school and district calendar and deadlines. Help your candidate establish a calendar to document and maybe a journal to prioritize, plan, and even reflect. Your candidate may need help with the elements of their Georgia TAP portfolio. Check in to ensure they are meeting the requirements. Do they have signatures after observations in CST meetings? Are they documenting mentor hours? Are they scheduling field experiences and documenting those appropriately? These check-ins are essential to the success of your candidate. You don't have to visit all of these bullet points each week. As you get to know your candidate, you will know where to focus your attention each week. Please utilize the resources found on the North Georgia RESA Georgia TAP website. Please let me know what questions you have related to supporting our candidates. You can email me with any questions. Thank you for your partnership.